Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here, and I'm going to be doing a cartomancy reading for you, and it's going to be for the next week. Okay. Now I know there's been a lot of tension in the world due to this whole coronavirus thing, and I know there's been a lot of frustration and restlessness throughout the world due to being either unemployed, losing your jobs, or just simply, how should I say this, going on, voluntary unemployment, even to be struggling due to your workforce being, pulled back a little bit, so that you're all struggling. I get that. I do, and there's a lot going on in the world today that deals with what's been going on in the world. So over the last week, I've been doing a lot of cartomancy. I've been doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of, you know, reading and a lot of self contemplation of where I want to take the sorcery, my sorcery to the next level and to figure out where do I want to grow? How do I need to grow? And I've been watching on Facebook, not just Facebook, but also YouTube. And there's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of herd conformity into fads. And there's been a lot of anger, a lot of anxiety and frustration. So I figured, now is a great time to see what's going on, from where you've been, what's been going on today, and, in the present, but most importantly, where you're going to be going in the future. Okay. So, yeah, just move my books over here. Yeah, we're kind of babysitting tonight. So if you hear kids in the background, just note that we're babysitting a friend's kids, and our son is here too. So it's probably going to get a little noisy from time to time. So, but I wanted to just let you know so that while we do this reading, you know, if you do hear them, that's what's going on. So you just find ways to amuse yourself, basically. Me, I lock myself in the bedroom and I'm doing cartomancy, doing reading, studying, research, and eventually I'm going to be working into my altar room and doing rituals before I head out tonight, later tonight, and well, participate in a good-sized ritual. I have a feeling it's going to be a plentiful ritual that is going to benefit those involved. So I really look forward to it. So I'm excited. So let's see what we can do here for the rest of you, and to see, bring this down here so you can actually see what I'm doing. Just realized, it's kind of up in space, so to speak. But I wanted to see what we can do for you to help you get to that next level. See where you're going and what you need to be doing to reach that next goal. Okay. So let's see. Something tells me the cats are getting terrorized because I'm listening to my Bella in the background over there going, "Meow, meow, meow," which means the kids are literally chasing after her. Now, if she was smart, they would go into the kitchen where they can't get to them. But let's see if they're that smart. You'll figure it out eventually. because we're dealing with 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds here. So, but anyways, let's see what the cards have to say. Ooh. Alrighty. All right. The first card is the Nine of Grails. Second card is the Seven of Scepters. Third card, Death. Fourth card, Ten of Scepters. And then finally the Two of Grails. So the major aspects here is both magical and physical. Okay. Life and death. Grails are the cup of life. Scepters are, or wands are, more physical attributes of youth, life itself, the blood, depending on which faith, religion, or philosophy you follow. The cups or the grails are that which will grant you immortality, that which will grant you either life or death if you choose wisely. Okay. But then you have the major arcana card, Death. Okay. And I'll get to that one in just a minute because I want to start off with the first card and kind of just tell you about it. The Nine of Grails shows the couple, the seductress, within the arms of the faithful lover. Okay. It deals with the relationship status. In this case, so you can see it. Okay. The Nine of Grails is dealing with that of personalized relationships. You're dealing with almost in the same way as lovers, the Lovers card. But what's ironic here is the Two of Grails is similar, just the opposite viewpoint. Okay. You have one back two, and then you have both of them facing each other. So that's kind of interesting setup there. Exhibit A, crying in the background. That's why I gave you the heads up. So, anyways, the Nine of Grails. You're dealing with the green flower. Okay. Green is nature. It is the prospect of Mother Earth. Okay. How should I say this? The natural course is the best way that I can tell you about this. But you're also entering into what is known as the Gemini. The Gemini and the moon, the waning moon, or I should say the waxing moon, really, because it's going towards that, the full moon. So you got the Gemini on one hand, and on the other hand, you have the crescent moon. Okay. Now, here we are seeing the moon in the background. Do you see that right on the guy's arm? You have the. Okay.
Sit.
You have the Gemini marking right here, but yet over here you have the quarter moon. Okay. This is the resemblance of a very strong force coming together. In this case, you're dealing with what most pagans or Wiccans would refer to as the god and goddess, the creating force. Okay. The creating force is, how, how should I say this? The creating force is the life force. Okay. Every spring is the conception of the fruits of your labor. Okay. In this case, you can break this down into three categories: the birth, the rebirth, and the death. Okay. You got the birth of creation. This is the springtime. Okay. The spring equinox or the spring events, the solstice and equinox aspects of everything that has taken place, the creation of it. Okay. Think of it as the conception. All right. Next would be the birth. Okay. You have the rebirth where the goddess is giving birth to the god. Okay. This is the pagan and Wiccan perspective of the god and goddess in this formulation. And I want to make that very, very clear. Okay. Where it is that conception time. Okay. So they are creating something to be met down the road as the birth, the rebirth. Okay. And eventually the death down the road. It is a circle of life. Okay. All things are born, they're created, born, and they die off. Every prospect, every avenue that you pursue has this state of affairs, okay, within it. And this includes business. This includes personal ties to your families. Okay. A lot of people throughout the world have been in what is classified as a lockdown. You're dealing with the anxiety. You're dealing with the attributes of frustrations. Okay.
You're going to stay in here until you're ready to be good.
This is the time when you really want to get your thoughts into the right order. Okay. And I'm going to tell you that right out flat. Because you've got the waxing moon. Okay. The waxing moon is the creation factor. The Gemini is the creation of twins. Okay. So when you get your mind in order and you want to get your ducks in a row to try to figure out, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. How do I create this? How do I go about coming around to creating this? How do I give it conception? Okay. This is what the Nine of Grails is. It is that conception of the journey, the beginning of the journey. Okay. The starting anew. Okay. And that's what the springtime is. This is what the rebirth, the conception or the birth process is. You're giving birth to new ideas. You're giving birth to new projects. You're giving birth to a whole new society in general. It's not just your family. It's not just your business. It's not just doing things as a community. This is the beginning process. Okay. And it first starts with you. Okay. You as an individual, you have to think and feel and what is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to conceive? Okay. To get eventually give birth to. Okay. That is what the Nine of Grails is. The next one is the Seven of Scepters. Okay. And I'm going to show this to you. Okay. You see? This is the Seven of Scepters. Okay. Give me one moment. Everett, are you ready to be good? Okay. Are you going to hit again? Okay. Because next time you hit, you're going right into timeout again, and that's where you're going to stay for a little while. Okay. So, anyways, little disciplinary moment there. He's at that stage where he's hitting and biting and spitting. Not sure how to break that. I don't even know how to go about it, but except for timeout in his crib. But anyways, the seven scepters. This is a magical moment. When you create something, you have to give it purpose. You got to give it form. It's not just a matter of giving conception to something. It is binding it to you. It is a matter of giving it shape, planning things out, making it manifested in the world. But what's ironic here is you're not just dealing with the equal armed cross, the balance factor. You're also dealing with Mars, the masculine powers. Okay. And if you notice, I'm going to bring this up here. I don't know if you can see it. Right here is the alchemical symbol, the astrological symbol for Mars. Okay. And then up here, you have the equal armed cross. Okay. This aspect is the powers of creation. Everything is balanced between male and female energies, light and dark, to bring them into focus, into unison. You hold something in the palm of your hand that is classified as, how should I say this? A creation, a prospect. It is the beginning of a journey. You not just conceive something, but you've manifested it through magical means. When you make a deal, when you make a petition to a spirit, and you give offerings and tithes and worship to that spirit, you are, in fact, forming a relationship. In this case, the Seven of Scepters is that relationship, the balancing factor of all components put together. Death, on the other hand, I want to show this to you. Okay, let me try to find a good angle for this one because it's kind of shiny. That's death. Okay, you see how death is in the coffin. She's in that gateway. Reapers, throughout mythology and folklore, reapers have been known as agents of death. They are the soul collectors. But a lot of people believe that when you see a banshee, for an example, it is foretelling that someone is going to die. Either you or someone you know, like a loved one. And they always appear as the screaming lady. Okay? The screaming lady. And that's what a banshee is. She appears and she's screaming, she's in sorrow, she's in pain because something or someone is perishing. And what's ironic about seeing this in this type of formulation of conception, manifestation, and the death process is you're dealing with Mercury. Okay? Mercury, you see the M right there, right up the top there, right on that skull. Okay? Trying to get it focused for you. But Mercury is the iron. Okay? It is a metal, one of the rare metals that was assigned to this planet. But it's ironically an iron planet. It is one of those planets that is made up of iron. It is one of the key components of that planet. Death itself is the beginning of a new, but it's also the ending of an old. A lot of people, they don't understand that death is a process of all things. Don't jump to a conclusion when you get a death card, when the death card comes up, because you have to read the overall reading. Death is much like the Tower card, which is also a major arcana. For something to be created, you must first tear down the old. That's the Tower card, okay? But death, on the other hand, speaks to a lot of different things, a lot more things. You're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with frustrations, you're dealing with chaos, you're dealing with your business, your family, you're dealing with so many different angles just in this one card, in this one setting, that a lot of people would just automatically jump to conclusions. Oh my God, I'm going to die. You know, that's like getting the devil card. Oh my God, I'm going to hell. No, the death card does not necessarily mean you're going to die. It does not mean that your project is going to die. What it means is that you may have to sacrifice a pawn to gain the king or a queen, for that matter, depending on which avenue you're going for. Okay. The next card is the Ten of Scepters, and we're going right back into the magical priorities here. Okay. Let me see if I can't get that thing. There we go. Mm. Jupiter. This card is ruled by Jupiter. If you notice on the right here on the mask, you'll see Jupiter right there. Okay. That is the astrological symbol for Jupiter. So we've got a lot of planetary movement, which tells me flat out that this is going to be a process. Okay. It's not something that's going to be quick. This tells me that this is going to be something that takes place over months. Okay. Because these planets move through our solar system in a way that expands months, perhaps even a year, okay, or years. It's something that you have to consider on how to formulate everything in the overall picture. Now, the scepter, or in this case, the spear, which is also the tip of a scepter, this is something that's unique. Unlike the actual scepter, or that, like, say, a magical staff, or that of, say, the staff with a cross on it, okay, like you see in a lot of the old Hollywood produced films, okay, like the one with what's his name there, Jim Savez, what's his name there, the one with Sophia Miles, where he plays he comes from a conquering race and he crash lands in the kingdoms, and he becomes interested in Sophia Miles' character, and this alien creature survives the crash and the termination of its home world, and literally wreaks havoc, and he has to face off against it and becomes the next king. Okay, in this fashion, we see where the monk would carry the scepter and try to speak Latin and use the will of God to make something happen. Okay, this is like using the God names out of the Kabbalah. Okay, Yahweh, Jehovah, Emmanuel, or even Allah, for that matter. Okay, it's those names of power which is utilized in this fashion. Now, in this case, the spear is that thrusting motion. Okay, it's that jabbing, that that, how should I say this? It's piercing that veil. Okay, in this case, we're looking at the warrior side of things, which means in the long run, you're going to need to fight for something before it dies off, to prevent it from dying off, even. Ironically, The Two of Grails. The Two of Grails deals with the Chimera. Even Venus, for that matter. But ironically, you're also dealing with the heart. If you look right up here, okay, let me see if I can get this into fruitation for you. Right there, right here, you got the Chimera. Underneath that, you have what is known as the heartogram, and then underneath that, the circle with the cross going downward. Okay, you got the color red, which deals with vengeance, anger, passion, desire. Think of Asmodeus in demonolatry. Prime example from the Book of Tobit. Now, the Chimera is made up of different animals into one being. It's said to be an unstoppable foe created by wizards or warlocks. Okay? But you're dealing with the Gemini as well. The plant, the symbol for the Gemini, which is right there on the guy's shoulder. Okay? Now, right here, this tells me that again, you've gone right back into Gemini, the twins, which means it's a dual motion. You're dealing with two, okay? Not just one, but two. So here, this overall reading shows that you've got the conception of an idea or a topic, okay? You've got the the manifestation of it. You've got aspects that are going to die off. You've got the long haul that you've got to really dig deep because it's going to be a long haul. But most importantly, you've got that creation process going on here. The moon is the feminine energies. You're dealing with spiritual forces, which means magic is involved. You're dealing with planetary and spiritual aspects. Okay? Now, the planetary and spiritualism have gone hand in hand for hundreds of years because the number 7 was the original number that was given to the planets. This includes the sun and the moon. Okay? Then then you add in the 7 angels or ruling spirits of those planets. They were used to be known as gods, by the way. But more modernly they're associated with angels. Okay? So you're dealing with spiritual forces in this category. You're dealing with moon phases. Okay? The waxing moon. Okay? You're dealing with symbolatry. So you don't want to take things face value wise. You really want to look at the symbology behind every move that you make, everything that comes your way, because behind it is something else. Okay. For an example, you may see a cross. Okay, a plus sign. Okay, that plus sign area with a circle around it. Well, this resembles balance. Okay, which harmony, where everything's in unison with each other, and that's basically what this reading's talking about. You're dealing with numerology as well, so it's really talking about how you need to create something. You need to bring it to manifestation. You need to really take care of it, or it's going to die off. Okay, apply your energies to something creative and fruitful. Okay, and it's really talking about the matters of the heart, which really really tells me that it's dealing with relationship issues. Okay, topics of the relationships, which really stand firm here, because you're either alone or you're in, you know, you're either one or you're two. Okay, now think about this for a minute. One or two. Okay, if you're one, you're not going to get very far. Okay, you're not going to be able to reproduce. You're not going to be able to conceive something unless you're, asexual, like a lizard or something. Like a Komodo dragon, for an example, a fire symbol like Mars. Okay, an earth symbol like death. You can also deal with number two, which two heads are better than one. Okay, so you may want to look into working with a partner, perhaps a friend of yours, to where you can.
It's all right. I got it.
Okay, where you can really bounce ideas back and forth and try to get something going. If you're trying to get a business off the ground, look at your partner and say, "Hey, what do you think about doing this? Okay, do you think this would work? How do you grab somebody's attention? Okay, how do you do this? How do you think if we did this, how would this come about? Okay, what's your opinion of it? Okay, so you really want to ask questions. You symbology wise, you really want to look for that hidden meaning. Okay, that hidden purpose, because if you look at the focus of what is right in your face, you're gonna miss the obvious. Okay, so you really want to look beyond it, and that's basically what this reading is saying. You want to conceive it, you want to manifest it, you want to take care of it, otherwise it's going to die off. But most importantly, you don't want to neglect that that heart aspect, because that heart aspect could be family, it could be your partner. Okay, it could be something to deal with a family business, not just something that's going to affect your family on in the long run, but you're going to need to delve deep, and you're going to need to settle in for the long haul, because it's going to take time. It's going to take time and effort and a lot of dedication. Okay, we all know that nothing comes for free, and you're going to have to fight for it if you want it to manifest and stay fruitful. So don't be afraid to bounce off ideas. Don't be afraid to move and bounce ideas off people. Okay, especially your partner. All right. So that's today's reading, and I hope it helps you for the next week. All right. So have a good day, and or a good night, depending on where you are. It's up to you. All right.